TikTok showed up on my For You page. You know what the first thing I see is? A SETI. Really?
Page 53, 76.
I was inspired by that.
I was like, what?
Don't you know? I got some TikToks there.
I was inspired by Smash.
Gosh, I don't have a TikTok. All right. Shh, 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 shh. So this is the last unit. This is the last unit. Tomorrow we'll have kind of a review over this. Then Friday we'll do a quiz. Sorry to give you a quiz on Friday, but hey, deal with it.
What are we doing there?
Chapter 8.
Oh, I thought you finished the last unit.
Well, we go into chapter 8.
Oh.
Or something like that. All right. Shh. So, ready? I'm on page 53. 7-6 is the last of this unit, I believe, unless I looked at the book wrong.
This is the last unit.
No, there's chapter 8. Okay, and whatever we're getting done in chapter 8, it's good. The chi-square test for homogeneity and mathematically identified to the chi-square test for independence. The difference is the way we look at the data. Consider the following hurricane data. We've only seen this hurricane data for how long?
47 days.
Yeah. On one hand, we look at this data as it were testing the relationship between the ocean and hurricane intensity. All variables are independent of the variables independent of each other. This creates the test of independence, which we've talked about. On the other hand, we could look at 3 different hurricane distributions across 3 oceans. Shh. Do the 3 oceans possess the same distribution of hurricanes percentage-wise? This creates the say that word for me. Homogeneity of variance? Homogeny? Okay, I'm glad I'm amongst smart. So the null and alternative. Say it one more time. Homogeny of variance. The null and the alternative hypothesis for that word of variance looks as follows. All right. So, same distribution. Our alternative, 3 oceans possess different distribution. All right. So this is just another way of testing the data. If we reject the null hypothesis, we find strong evidence that 3 oceans possess different distributions of hurricane intensities. If we fail to reject the null hypothesis, we fail to find strong evidence that the 3 oceans possess different distributions of hurricane intensities. Otherwise, in mathematics, the degrees of freedom assumptions of the method for calculating the p-value are the same. Let's see. We noted the assumptions are not passed in this particular chi-squared test. Indeed, many of the expected values are below 5. This is a significant problem, and it undermines the trust in the results of our hypothesis test. The techniques used for collapsing categories can be used to rebuild contingency tables so that our assumptions are passed. The idea is simple. Rather than using all 5 categories of hurricanes, we can combine the more rare categories and collapse contingency table for our hurricane data, which is on the next page. So what they did is they said, yeah, the category 1, 2, and then you can combine 3 through 5. Okay, and then they created this information. 10, there's 46, 16, 8, 4, which is 38, and 17, 15, 4, 36. And so the total here is 53, 39, 18, and 110 total. Huh? Yeah, so what they did is they put category 3 through 5 into one category because those were the smaller happening categories. Okay, so this might seem to undermine the data, and actually collapsing variables does lose a level of precision. However, these chi-square tests inherently involve categories of variables, which give us a lot of choice about how to construct the categories. In the diagram, the expected values are larger than 5, and we're free to proceed with the top confidence interval. So all they really did here is they put 3, 4, and 5. They just added them together. That's all they did. And then we're going to be able to do the exact same chi-squared test, CDF, where you have your chi-squared, you have huge number, degrees of freedom. Now, would the degrees of freedom on this change then? Yeah. I mean, we have 3 by 3 categories, so degrees of freedom is 3 minus 1, 3 minus 1, which is 4. Okay, so I guess we changed the degrees of freedom, but that might change out how we do, figure out the problems. So why don't I give you all the opportunity to work on 7.6? We'll go over 7.6 tomorrow. I guess I won't do the quiz on Friday. We'll do it like next week. It won't be Monday though. It won't be here Monday though. Okay, I'll record both days for you. Did you say you're getting your wisdom teeth taken out?
Some people it doesn't hurt them. I don't want to be at all. Well, yeah, usually, most people, even if they're listening to social out, problems they're doing it, but yeah, it's harder to remove the layers. Yeah.